What's up, guys? This is my video response to Gemini's video. He put up a video last night asking everybody who they think the greatest tag team in the world is. And I thought that was a great video. And all day at work today, I was going over in my head who I thought the greatest was. Then I started thinking about, well, what makes a great tag team? So I came up with 5 different criteria that I think is essential in having a great tag team. We know in today's wrestling, tag teams are non-existent. I mean, they are, but they're really not. They do have a few tag teams, but let's face it, they suck. The tag team division has lacked for many years in the WWE. And the WWE used to be the greatest for tag teams. In the 80s and the 90s, tag teams were dominant. Hart Foundation, Steiners, Legion of Doom, National Disasters, Money Incorporated, the Bushwhackers. I mean, you had tag teams that were great. Now, I've got 5 different criteria on what I think makes a great tag team. And I'm going to go over those criteria. Now, right off the bat, I think the Steiners and the Road Warriors are hands down 2 of the greatest tag teams of all time. Those are my top 2. And I'm going to go through my criteria, and I'm going to relate the criteria to those 2 tag teams. Now, number 1, you got to have a connection with the 2 wrestlers that are going to form the tag team. The Steiner brothers had that connection. They're real-life brothers. They've known each other their entire life, so when they got into the wrestling biz, they had that connection. They knew each other inside and out. They know each other better than the back of their own hand. Now, the LOD, or the Road Warriors, no, they're not brothers, but they are real-life childhood friends. They grew up together on the same street, played with each other, grew up together, and they've got that brotherly bond. So that right there gives them that edge when they form that tag team. And I think a connection is great. Nowadays in the WWE, they just throw a lot of random guys together, and they just don't have that chemistry in the ring. And I think if there's a connection with the 2 wrestlers, besides just working for the same company, then you'll get a better result. Number 2, you got to have a great backstory. Now, the Steiner brothers, they really did go to the University of Michigan, and they wrestled in college, and they were All-Americans. So when the commentators are calling a match of theirs, they can tell us, the fans, all about that to help build their story, to help make us believers of this tag team that they're trying to put out to us. The Road Warriors have the same great backstory. They grew up in the mean streets of Chicago. Now, they were actually from the suburbs. They didn't really grow up in the mean streets, but it's close enough. And like I said, they were childhood friends, and they were bouncers. They had all those great similarities between the 2. They worked out together, so the commentators could, tell us that while they're calling the match, to help build the story for those guys, to make them more believable to us. So you've got a connection, and you've got a great backstory. Number 3, you got to have the look. The Steiner brothers are known for their colorful, vibrant, crazy pattern tights. They both kind of wore the same style of tights, but Rick Steiner also wore the wrestling headgear that you see most collegiate and high school wrestlers wear. And, he didn't want to get those cauliflower ears, so that's why he wore those. And the Road Warriors, they have the most dominating look of all time, I think. Now, before they started wearing the shoulder pads with the spikes, they had the black leather and the chains that they wore, kind of like a motorcycle gang. They always wore the face paint, and that's something that they've done since day one. Later on, they upgraded to those football pads with the spikes on them, which made them look even more intimidating. But you gotta have a look. Both wrestlers have to have a similar look, or it's not going to be a believable tag team. Now, the 4th criteria is wrestling skills. You got to have some skills to be a good tag team. Like I said, the Steiners, they've got that college background, they got the amateur background. They are great chain wrestlers. They can be dominating, they can be brawlers, but they can also put a move on you and make you submit. They're great with the suplexes, the tilt-a-whirl, the belly-to-belly, belly-to-back. You've got the Frankensteiner. They can do it all. And they can also just beat the living shit out of you. Now the Road Warriors, on the other hand, they're not chain wrestlers. They're not technical whatsoever. They are just pure brawlers. And most of their matches in the 80s, that's what they did, man. They went to the ring, beat the living shit out of you, and they were stiff wrestlers. The Steiners are stiff as well. They would go in there and just knock the living shit out of you. I wouldn't even think twice about it. You didn't see many technical moves from these guys. It's body slam, hip toss, clothesline, bam, you're done. Now, going to the last criteria that makes a great tag team. The finisher. You gotta have a tag team finisher. And a lot of these tag teams nowadays don't have that. So the Steiner brothers, they had the Bulldog, where Scott Steiner would hoist the opponent up on his shoulders, turn his back to the corner, Rick would be on that corner, and he would jump off and do the Bulldog. And the Road Warriors had a similar finishing move as well. They had the Doomsday Device, where Hawk would hoist the opponent on his shoulders, and then Animal would just come flying off the top rope and give him a clothesline. Both of those finishers are very dominating. They've won a lot of matches with those moves, and those are my 5 criteria on what I think makes the greatest tag team. So, like I said, in my opinion, the 2 greatest tag teams of all time are Rick and Scott Steiner of the Steiner brothers, and Animal and Hawk of the Road Warriors. They had the look, just like I said, they have the look, they've got the wrestling ability, they've got the backstory, the connection, and these guys also wrestled all over the world. Very known in Japan, held numerous tag team titles, wrestled in just about every organization you can think of, and that's it. Gemini, thanks a lot for making this challenge. I thought it was a great idea, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. In the comments below, tell me who you think is the greatest tag team of all time. And if you want to make a video response, please feel free to do so. You can post it up on Gemini's video, or you can post it on my video. It doesn't really matter. But that's what I think. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Gold Dizzy. Peace out.